Welcome to our podcast. What she said.
Hey, this is Audrey, and this is Courtney, and we are the Girls of 95.
Yeah. Girls of 95. Yeah. Yeah. Girls of 95. Oh, yeah.
Yayo. Are we all lined up? Did you already get it lined up earlier?
Yeah, I already got it lined up.
I feel like there's a lot of space over here with my elbow, isn't it?
No.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I'm all tangled up.
Hey, guys.
Okay, well, hey. It's us again.
Fat Albert. Hold on, you talk. I'm texting Ryan really quick.
Okay, well, hey, guys. It's Courtney here. I'm just filling some space while Audrey's texting Ryan back because he is now working out of town. Boo. So now she's forced to hang out with me more. So
Correct. No, I want to hang out with you. I'm actually happy that we get to have this time together.
Yeah,
Ryan
it's
keeps
limited.
Ryan keeps wanting me to come up next weekend, and I probably should to like tour houses and stuff, but it's kind of nice being able to do our Tuesday, Thursday record days.
Yeah,
and I
we've
don't
been
know.
getting a little bit more quality time just because. Well, things have just been crazy lately for both of us. Like
Yeah.
you have house stuff going on, and you do that like every weekend at some point.
Yeah.
And then I've been like out of town, and that's been crazy.
Your hair looks really good right now.
Thank you.
It's like
Falling out.
It's like 90s.
Thank you.
90s
Hopefully
vibes.
it looks cute in the camera. Because sometimes I feel like it doesn't translate sometimes.
Yeah, I've stopped putting on mascara when I record because nobody can fucking see my eyelashes anyway. So how would they see it right there? And then I get comments like on Insta being like, I didn't see your eyelashes. You're a liar. Like, they'll come back. If you hear this, guys, comment on our Instagram or our YouTube. I can see your eyelashes.
Yeah, honestly, it means
Yeah.
a lot. We'll Venmo you $1.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look
I
at
will
that.
for a
I'll
compliment.
do $1 too.
Match that.
Match
$2
that
to you.
Donation.
Anyway, okay, so Aud, what are we going to talk about today?
We gonna get spicy.
It's gonna be juicy.
Gonna have a spicy, dicey. Yeah, no, today we're gonna talk about Courtney's ex.
Oh, I didn't know we were going to say it just like that, but I don't care. That's fine. Okay.
Great.
Yes, today's going to be spicy juice.
A little bit of spicy.
Okay,
juice.
here's my thing. I've lived on this earth 26 and a half years,
Yeah.
give or take, a little bit more. And there's only so much wisdom you got. You know, we already kind of were like getting a little wisdomy with just from our years of experience with like some real life things about being 26. We talked about our traumas a little bit and kind of what that taught us. And I feel like in that we kind of joked and like, yeah, and our trauma we don't talk about like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I have, I don't know if it's, what did you say? Talking about my ex? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's
well,
how you were?
like, just talk about, and I'll chime in too, just like bad relationships.
Yeah,
past
bad
things.
relationships. And I want to preface this by saying that I'm not like, I'm personally, and if I mean, it's probably not going to be like flattering to talk about your ex, I guess, like for them, but I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. I'm not trying to like make anyone out to look bad. Mm-hmm. The whole kind of like learning that you need to get from this is just that it's not always going to work out. And if you stay in something that's not working, it turns into a toxic thing. So it's like, it's toxic ex, but I'm not like putting it completely off on somebody else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think
It's just toxic relationship.
A relationship's a two-way street, I would say, too. And it's like, just because something doesn't work for you doesn't mean something doesn't work for him, or something doesn't work for him and work for a different girl. You know what I'm saying? Like a type of,
yeah, and that's exactly kind of like when we talked about like talking about this before, and Audrey, like, I don't know, she really likes to get into it a little bit, and that's fine because so do I.
I think it's because it's been so long I've been suppressed because I was always a supportive friend.
Yeah.
And now like it's
just
years of
it's just so far. Yeah, it's just so far out. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna talk about, and I guess maybe just like a little bit of experience. You can like listen in, and obviously, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna relate to some like the situations or experiences or feelings that I'm gonna talk about. And I'm sure, I mean, including Audrey.
Yeah.
But I feel like just the main thing is if just like you find yourself in this situation currently, just like take a really good long hard look, because I don't have any regrets as far as like regrets go, but obviously there's like some things I've learned, and if like I was put in the same situation again, I would do things a lot differently. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't good for me. Like, and they weren't good for the person I was with either. Like,
Wouldn't
it just
you agree too? Like, you would do it 100 times all over again, the exact same way.
I would, because
because it's just like it teaches you so much.
Right, and even in those situations, it's not like there was like never a good thing. I'm not trying to say anyone's like a bad person or like there wasn't something like special shared at some point. But I mean, you have to take a step back, like really assess when you're putting so much time and energy and effort into something.
Yeah.
If it's really not serving either person, like it's better just to cut your losses. And that's, I feel like, what didn't happen. And that's why I kind of got.
It just went on a little too long.
It went on a little too long. Okay.
That's all there is to it. It went on a little too
so
long.
yeah, that's kind of what we're going to get into a little bit today.
Yeah.
All right.
Where do we want to start?
That's a really great question.
Do you want to start maybe like with your relationship history? I know we've touched on it slightly, but like what it kind of was before like the big X.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we can
we
can just kind of talk. We're just talking. Here's the episode now. It's just Courtney's dating history.
Yeah, I'll chime in with my
Courtney's
little
dating
2
history.
cents. My dating history, as you guys know, is nothing. So if I have anything to add, I will. But
I
it
feel
will
like
be.
mine isn't extensive.
No, but
Okay, so
I
basically,
don't know.
here's kind of like the gist of things. I love talking about this kind of stuff, honestly. So if you don't like hearing about it, that's fine. But like, I would
Catch
listen.
next episodes.
I would
Yeah.
literally listen to anybody's freaking juicy relationship past like in 5 seconds.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So my relationships, I feel like obviously I had a lot of things that weren't serious. I'm gonna start from like high school area because that's kind of when you start having real, actual feelings for people. And serious relationships can develop, which that's what happened to me. I met somebody when I was in high school. Anyway, so yeah, so it's like high school times. And then obviously we're talking about, I had a serious relationship and it was kind of like, it was a long-term thing that turned into being a little bit on and off. And then I dated people that like weren't serious in between them. Cause eventually you date somebody. Like, you don't just go years and years and years without dating somebody. At least that's like not how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go like freaking 3 years. And if there's someone I like, even just for a short time, also I'm saying this as like when you're in your young 20s, I probably wouldn't do that now. So that has changed. Like I wouldn't just like agree to be somebody's girlfriend or like date somebody exclusively for a couple months or something like that if it wasn't somebody that I was seeing potential in something more serious, where like before I'm like, okay, well, I'm like,
Yeah, we're very different now with like.
Oh, I thought you were going to say between the two of us. But no, like when you're 26. Your life is just different because you're thinking now in kind of a different way where like at one point I was just like, okay, well, I have like all the time in the world. I still do, but you're like I'm set up differently in the other stages in areas of my life where it's like, okay, I have a good job, and I'm whatever. Anyway, but you're old enough now that your life situation is a little bit different. And so it changes how you view relationships too. Like I'm not going to keep just dating with no purpose forever.
Well, yeah, and when you're in high school, you're dating to have fun and let loose.
Right. And then when you're in your early 20s, especially kind of like if you're in between a serious thing, like there's going to be that person that's like, or those people, in most people's cases, I'm sure that it's like the person that you're kind of like spending time with, and it's like you're mutually getting something from each other, whether it's just like, someone to hang out with, or, you enjoy spending time with that person for a period of, but it's just, there's nothing serious there. And I feel like that's kind of just like a good summary of, without going too deep into those things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the main, I feel like relationship that I'm going to be talking about, like with somebody that I met the summer before my senior year in high school.
Yep.
And then end up dating for like into my early 20s.
How many years was it? Do you know?
Like all together? Like from the moment.
Let's not talk about breaking up and getting back together. I'm talking about like
how long were we kind of like.
You were texting probably in between those times. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it was like we were something to each other for like 7 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, puke. Like not a puke in like a gross way, but just like that's a long time. Like you don't realize how much time that is until.
Yeah, and like what you mentioned too, when you're young, it's like, oh yeah, I just wasted like 2 or 3 years, no biggie. You know.
Yeah, I won't say
year.
like even now I'm not gonna say any time is wasted, but it's just like
yeah,
it kind of was at the same time. To be real, I mean, whatever.
You'll live and you'll learn.
Got a text. Anyway. Anyways.
It was for me.
Not.
Just kidding.
Anyway. No, but I feel like I don't know how much to say. And sorry that I'm kind of just like in the middle of this, but it's just like,
we didn't prepare as usual.
I kind of prepared myself about kind of like what I wanted to like be the point of what I wanted to say in this, but it's hard to know because you are talking about somebody else. They're never going to care or listen, but I'm sure they wouldn't even care if I like said anything because I'm not going to try to like get like real nasty about it or anything, but
God dang it. That would
do you want me to? That's really
I would
go
soar.
savage mode.
Like I would.
I know. Audrey
I would get
cry.
a boner over here. I would get so excited.
No. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay. So started dating someone before my senior year of high school. Okay.
Should
They're
we
a
give
year
them a
older
fake
than
name?
me. It's got to be not close.
I know. It could be.
Tony Soprano.
Yeah, that's it.
So I met Tony Soprano the summer before my senior year.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Anyway, R.I.P. to Tony Soprano, right?
Right.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know. I know the actor died. So.
Oh, well, I was pretty sure. Yeah, okay.
The real life actor died. So, I mean.
Sorry, Tony.
Sorry, Tony.
This is in Tony's memory. Anyway, yeah, and so obviously that's like my first, I feel like, serious relationship. I was genuinely like in love. It was like it's your young love.
How did you guys meet again?
We met, it was like,
was it like the project grad
oh
thing?
yeah, okay, so yeah, the graduating seniors that year, so I was a junior and there was a graduating class of seniors. They always did like a fun thing the night after their graduation where they'd have like, they would go someplace and it would be kind of like this party type situation. It wasn't like a party, but
it's like a party put on by the school. I'm sure other schools do this too, but basically
in a probably way less lame way.
It's a way for people to ensure that after graduation, like the kids aren't getting lit and getting in trouble, because I think that kept happening. I don't know. I think it's something that they have at like so many high schools, but basically it's like people would go
it's like
out,
the last
get
hurrah
drunk.
that the school puts on though, so it's not like a dangerous situation.
No, it's always like so much fun. Like
it really is. And because the seniors can invite somebody to come and it doesn't have to even be somebody at the school. Like I think you just have to get it like approved or whatever. Yeah. But I literally went every single year of high school with somebody.
I think I just went junior and senior year. But yeah, it's like, it's pretty fun because you just go and just...
You weren't there for... You probably... Well, you were only there part of freshman year, so you probably didn't know any seniors well enough to like... Go. Yeah, right. That makes sense. Because I think we went with like people that were on the dance team or something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure anyway. Or maybe I only went sophomore, juniors.
Doesn't matter. But anyway, but it's it's
I was there a year,
you
weren't
the
there.
School puts on. It's a way for kids to have fun, and you
anyway, that's where we
stay
met.
up like all night, right? Like, don't you stay up till like 5 in the morning?
You literally, you're up all night. You go there after graduation, or you
have like
leave.
an hour break to go home.
No,
and
it's like
change,
later
and
at night.
Yeah,
it's later at night because I know people have like graduation
parties.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you show up. It's like dark. And then you drive to wherever, you bus there, and it was like at a rec center thing, so they had like a big pool and like a gym area, and it was just like this, I don't know, it was fun. Anyway, it was always so much fun. I loved going. Anyway, so that's where we met. He had just graduated. Anyway, but we literally did not know. We live in such a small town, but we didn't know each other before then.
That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Well, he
What? Huh?
alt school. He was in alt school.
Oh yeah, he was.
Bad boy.
We're part of it. Anyway,
I didn't know if I should say that.
I don't know either. We're just going off the handle.
But yeah, he was in old school too, so like he wasn't in, and it wasn't for anything bad. I think he just like missed every
truancy
day. It was truancy.
truant.
So we didn't see him in the halls or anything either, and he wasn't like in sports or anything. So
yeah,
it makes sense we didn't know him. But it is weird.
I mean, we knew who. I mean, I knew who he was or something, but I like never talked to him.
Yeah,
no,
so weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so yeah, so then, yeah, and it was like 100% just like I mean, we met that night, but nothing like happened there because it was just, we had like mutual friends.
Yeah.
And that's how we like all started hanging out in a group, basically.
That's right.
Yeah. But it was 100% like me trying to like hang out with new people. That's what it was. Like I was 100% the person that was like, I wouldn't even say like making a move because that wasn't what that was at that point, but it was just like I was the one that was like, hey, let's like this is a group of friends, like here's my group of friends, we have a mutual friend, like let's all hang out, let's do stuff. And I kind of just like started that summer happening.
I think I remember too though, like you just kept hanging out with all those like they're super fine nice kids or whatever, but I was like, what the fuck is she?
It was
like, what is she? It's so random.
Yeah, I
don't
such
nice people, but it's just like, what the fuck? That's really
I think
random.
it was just like a group of people I didn't know at all, and it was just they were always kind of like, I don't know, our friend group that we had, I never thought about this until now, but like our friend group that we had, we always kind of like did the same things. Like we were
literally we were clones.
Yeah, and we kind of were just we weren't really into partying or anything like that. And this was just another group of, it was like guys. It was a group of guys. And they were just always like just doing the most random stuff. And they kind of didn't have any like a lot of parental supervision, not even in a bad way, but like they just were like free to do what they wanted.
No,
so we just go do
so
random
fun.
stuff together all the time.
I will say like our favorite movie is like Hot Rod and like that kind of like funny, like what the fuck humor. And I feel like they fit that bill. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody else in high school like really cared about what people thought and like really tried to just do something, be the coolest partier, be the hottest person, be the whatever.
This like just a group of people that didn't give a rip. And I think that's why we're
they also weren't super country. So it's like you got the really people, like popular people that are trying too hard, and then the country people, and we were like neither. So it was kind of like, how do we fit in? And we found this group, and it's like, oh, you guys are kind of like us. It, like a little bit. It's kind of weird.
Anyway, and you go through spells in high school anyway, of just kind of like hanging out with random groups, and like this was just what
were group hoppers for sure.
Yeah, because we always just had like this our same friends, and then we would just kind of like whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so that just kind of like that's how kind of the summer started, and then I don't remember. I'm not going to go like real deep because it's going to sound like reminiscing, and I'm not trying to do that either. But basically we ended up dating, and it started like a serious relationship. Like, you know, we really cared for each other or whatever. Yeah. But I will say we came from very different backgrounds, and it wasn't like an issue, but I just think things that were like fundamentally really important to me at first perspective. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's a really major thing that maybe is a difference in why. Yeah. Looking back, I think maybe that had a part to play in it, just because we were just, it's not that we didn't have like some of the same values, but just like how I think someone should be in a relationship. And like I value relationships as well. Like I value, like I don't always have to be in a relationship, but like if I care for somebody and I'm going to be in a relationship with them, like I'm a really great girlfriend. Like I just am. Like I know, and for everybody else who I don't like that much, I'm probably awful, and it's because I'm like that's reserved for like a special thing. Sure. Or at least maybe like my emotion and like what I give. This is gonna sound so stupid. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like that maybe like when you're young, those types of things just seem like immaturity. They seem like, and I mean like for both of us, like obviously we'd never been in like a really serious relationship with anybody else. It's our first for both people. And, you know, you're kind of working through, you're growing up, like you're young, you're jealous, you're all these things. It's just like all these immaturities and these things that you have to learn, but you're learning them like kind of testing it on another person. And I will say we were like we didn't like fight awful or anything like that. Like I can count on my hand like the times I probably raised my voice at like a person I was in a relationship with. So when I say like toxic and things like that, I'm not talking about like a bad situation. I'm just saying it's like it got to where it wasn't a healthy relationship. Yeah. Anyway, so like obviously this is starting out like I'm like 17, 18, something like that. Young, fun, whatever. Yeah. So we literally have no cares. Like I'm starting community college, and I go through my senior year of high school. Right. Okay. So I finished my senior year of high school. I go through a couple years of community college or whatever, and we're in a serious relationship the whole time. Like we talk about getting married, and also reminder, we're from the Midwest. It's not weird for like young people. By the way, not talking seriously about doing it right now, but like we're getting to where we're like 19, 20, turning into 21. He's a year older than me already.
Oh yeah.
And
in a small town, especially in Missouri, like people, like so many, almost everybody I know from college is married already.
Right, and you have to think like at
it's
this point you're dating, like you start talking about these things, you've been dating for 3 years, and you're like,
I don't think that's weird.
Right,
at all.
so
But
you're saying,
people-
okay, in the next couple years, like maybe we'll get married, maybe we'll move in together. So it's like all these things or having kids, like all these conversations, they're not like teenage conversations. They actually have some weight. You know, we're talking about these types of things, just to kind of give a perspective. And then like we dated that whole time. It was like 4 years or something like that we dated.
Yeah.
Okay. But so we said at the beginning 7 years. So you have to remember 4 of these years are just like a normal relationship. And then like the last 3 were just like absolutely not a normal thing.
But in the
all.
4 years too, I think you guys didn't you guys like break up like
No.
small? It was just the full 4. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if there was like any breaks or
No, I mean,
anything.
I'm sure in a fight we'd been like, well, do we even whatever?
Right, but it
but
was
we never broke up. Nope, we never
like
broke
you
up.
never changed your Facebook status. I'm sure it was never even set, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
no, it wasn't. We were never broken up until we broke up,
When
which
did
is
you
why I
start-
think it was like
So 4
shock.
years of dating, but when did you start like noticing the cracks in the relationship, like things that were fundamentally like just not gonna
okay.
work?
So we're saying like 4 years. Let's say like a couple of those years were like really great because
Perfect. Yeah.
like there's nothing heavy enough or you don't have enough responsibilities in your life and there's not enough like big major things going on that you're like seeing maybe where someone isn't filling
Because I
what
would
you
say
need.
it would be 2 years too that I think is like perfect, pretty good, all around perfect times.
Right.
And like perfect times in the sense too where it's like, I know you're happy. I know he's treating you right. I know he's being like supportive of like your other friends and your family. Like I see him there for like in my life. I see him in Haley's life. I see him in other people's life. And then after that, it's like, I don't know when it's, but 2 years sounds right. And then after that, it kind of starts happening a little bit less and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. And honestly, maybe some of it too was just kind of like when you start seeing that, it's like you guys went off to college.
That's true too.
And then, mistake number 1, don't be so far up someone's a-hole. That's like, it's a major shock when like you're literally the only person like left there for each other. Does that make sense? Like,
No, that really is true. I mean, you had Haley, but then
no, but I will say you don't realize this when you're young, but it's like my parents told me, like my friends told me, and it's like we were all guilty of it. It wasn't like just me, but one thing that you're so guilty of when you're young is just like you get with somebody, you really like them, and then you spend all your time with them. Like they're never not included in anything, and that's kind of just how it was there for a long time, which was so much fun while it was good.
while
But
it was
just
good.
yeah, but like when things start like you start having issues and it's like kind of a big deal to not stay together one night, and you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like if you're in a routine of like, okay, we spend the night all the time together and we do this and we do that, but you're kind of like mad at each other or something like that, and then you don't, then it's, to me, it was like even a bigger deal. I was like, well, now we're upset with each other and we're not like
Spending time
together to
out.
like fix it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm like a fixer in a situation like that too. I don't
I'm like fix it or forget it. Like you got to do one or
Yes,
the other, but
yes.
you got to stop being in a bad mood and figure it out.
Right. Yeah. I don't like, I'm not trying to like fight. Obviously you do sometimes and eventually you bring something up, but I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm saying this from my perspective, but I'm just saying even in my friendships, I feel like I'm not way different. I don't get as mad probably in my friendships because I'm not holding you to a
Accountable.
relationship standard, of a
Yeah.
romantic relationship standard, but I'm just not someone that wants to fight and argue at all. So it's just, it's not the thing. But also you get with somebody for 4 years and then you get really comfortable. And so you kind of don't mind as much to just like say when something's really bothering you, but you're young, so you don't say it in the best way. And also you have different communication styles. Like,
Yeah, you want to dive into that?
yeah,
a little
okay,
bit?
so that's a major thing.
I think that's like yeah,
yeah,
it's it. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's I feel like the basis of like any good relationship
Oh,
at
I
all.
say it every day. You have to have good communication.
And it's not even that you have to communicate in the same way, but you have to understand the other person. You have to be willing
Yeah.
to communicate. And I feel like I'm a pretty good communicator, but like to the point where I'm over. Like if you're not saying something, I will fill the silence. If we're
Yeah.
fighting,
Yeah,
I will over explain to where it's like anything, any point I was trying to make is now so lost, and everything I was trying to say, I'm sure you know, anyone I'm sure he especially was like, shut up. Like, dude, I get it or I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, and your communication was fix it, figure it out, resolve
fix
the
it. I
problem,
don't want to
get
be
back to
upset. I
love.
want to, yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I want to be, which I don't feel like is a horrible way to be. To be fair.
I don't think so either, unless you're pushing your own agenda so much that you can't hear the other person's perspective. But I know that wasn't the case.
Right? No,
that's the only time it's like negative. But I think trying to fix something and figure it out and just squash it is the best way to go.
Okay,
about
so
it.
that was my perspective.
I think most people would say that too. Like most therapists.
That was
and
my
stuff.
but it's also probably not always the best thing to do in every little thing too.
Just depends
so who
on
knows?
what it is.
I don't know. I know personally, I feel like I let things go. So
yeah. No, I agree too.
Anyway.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm just blowing smoke up your ass and you're my best friend and I don't know. But I feel like you've got it like locked down. Like you pretty much got it figured out about like how you communicate with people and like how you figure stuff out and not being like overly sensitive to certain things. Like, you know, like you didn't put the toilet seat down again. Like you don't.
yeah,
care.
no, I'm not
It's
like that at all.
You have a good balance. I think.
I'm not like that at all. There's a little actually things like that, like being a naggy type person. I'm really not.
naggy.
No, we never fought about anything like that. It was always something like I felt like I don't feel like I'm extremely sensitive, but I just felt like there was a lack of sensitivity or like.
Well, yeah, let's dive into his communication styles
Okay.
then. So you're gonna fight. What's he gonna do? Here, I'll do it.
It got better
That's
eventually, but not a good
Which
communicator.
is a lot of
but
guys' communication styles.
it is, but
That's
like
so
I
many.
said, we grew up very differently.
Yeah.
My family has no problem communicating.
Yeah.
So
I remember like she would come up to me with these like issues and stuff because you know too that's probably why I started like not liking the relationship because girls, you know, your friends only really hear the issues. You don't want to go to your friend and be like, we made out and then he took me to Paris and then he did that. Like
Right.
no one gives a rip. Like you need your girls for the bad things, honestly, which is sometimes hard because then
because then
we
they can
don't
kind of
fight
get a
for-
bad taste in their
Exactly. But I know she would come to me too and just be like, you know, I just feel like he just doesn't like show up in that way for me. Like
sorry.
he doesn't communicate well and like, you know, articulate his issues.
And
that
I
he's
feel like
having.
I've
He
tried to
just, like, walks away.
explain. Yeah, I've tried to explain like
Your side.
try to explain like here's how I'm feeling, and it's just like
I remember too so many times he just didn't. He was a type of person too where I think he would want to squash it and just like, but like never resolve it. Like it's okay if you're just like I don't want to fight right now. But I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm
honestly,
wrong,
I don't
this is
know. I
just
feel like
what
I've blocked out memories
Oh, okay.
a little bit.
I feel like I remember that a lot, though. He would just be like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want to. And then he would just never bring it up and then ignore it. Like, I remember you specifically telling me, be like, this is an issue that I keep trying to bring up. And he's just like, not now. Like, no.
Yeah,
Never.
actually, that sounds right. That's
Yeah.
probably right. That's probably right. Because, well, my thing is, too, there's just been so much that's happened since, like, what we're talking about. That it's like, I'm thinking
young.
of a different person.
Yeah, I think I'm talking about, like, young relationships.
Yeah,
Like, when
yeah.
you were, you know, at your house still and he would be over all the time. And,
Yeah, for sure. And I was definitely like, I don't know. You're young. Like I would get, I don't feel like all the time compared to like a lot of girls, but we would get in fights. I would cry. Like I would be just so upset that we're arguing about something or that it wasn't going well. And then I would just get really upset. And like now I'm just not like, like literally like when we actually broke up for real, like however long ago that was, I literally cried like
Yeah.
3 times about it at all. And it was like done.
That's good.
Anyway, I'm just saying it's just like, I don't know. It's just like when you're a kid, and I'm even saying this now from being around little kids all the time, everything feels like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now I'm just like, no, the things that are a big deal feel like a big deal and the other things don't. Like there's so much going on to life that I cannot like.
It's just, yeah, it's so funny when you would like look back and be like, oh my
LOL,
God, I'm
I
going
was
to kill myself.
so-
I'm so unhappy. And then it's just like,
Yeah.
girl, get it. Got to pay for a mortgage and keep a house and keep dogs
Yeah.
fed and keep a relationship going and make sure you don't get too stressed out that you actually want to drive off a bridge. Like, it's just so funny looking back and being like, we were so dumb.
Really funny. Yeah,
If you're a young person, just know, like, keep going. It gets better. Everything is going to get more positive. But also, too, it's like you're living in, like,
But
the
also
perfect time.
depressed.
So just, you're good.
Yeah, just be
It'll be
happy that you don't have like the weight of the world on your shoulders yet. Not to be like,
Oh my God, we don't
grim,
even have
but
kids yet. Like, imagine.
I feel like kids,
Like, bring Haley into the conversation. She's going to be like, you think you have the weight of the world on your shoulders? Like, sub me in.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But yeah, so I feel like that's kind of like our young, like, love thing that was just like, there was just such bad communication. That's the main thing is. And then, you know, I expected things in a relationship, and I know they weren't like stupid or weird things, but it just wasn't what was natural to him. And so like that gets frustrating.
He gave the college try. I mean, I will say, like, it's so, I think the things that you were wanting from him, super normal in a relationship. That's how everybody functions. But he just didn't function that way. So it's like, it is appreciative that he did try so much to like do those things, but at the same time too, it's just like,
I will say I don't think I ever didn't appreciate what he did, but I always just like, it's not enough a little bit. And maybe he feels like that. I don't know. I don't think I ever said that to him. I was just always, because they're just like, I remember things like I played like sports whenever I was in school. Like I played tennis. I went to like dance things, and he like,
did he ever show up?
he never came to a tennis match. Like I literally said that like kind of a couple years.
To be fair, I never came to a tennis match either. But
yeah, but you weren't graduated from high school.
Right.
You were like, it's because you were literally doing another sport at the same time.
Yeah.
You weren't just like not at home.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so it's like you were doing.
But it doesn't matter anyway. I'm not your boyfriend. Like your boyfriend should be there for everything.
Anyway, I'm just saying like things like that. Like I remember like.
Yeah, that's weird.
Being friends with people and like they had boyfriends, like they always came. I always went to his things. Like literally, that was my life.
Softball girls.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
well, turning into it. Okay. Anyway.
No, it's fine. But yeah, he liked to play softball, and Courtney we were always at the motherfucking softball fields every fucking night. Like
there was nothing else to do.
Oh, I mean, it was fun. Okay, sometimes it was fun.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was never fun,
but it's just like every week, three times a week.
It got to 3 times a week. That's like right before we broke up. Yeah. It got to the point where I was just like,
which is fine. Have your hobbies, king.
That's
but like,
fine. Yeah. Not a diss.
Show up for him. He should show up for you.
Not a diss. No, I'm not even trying to. When I say these things, it's not even a diss. I promise you. It's just like, okay,
we know a lot about softball.
Yeah. I know an extensive amount about softball and golf. If you want to know anything about it, just
she
send
is
me
a golf
message.
girl. Hit her up.
Yeah. No, I genuinely like. I would never want to play softball, but I would genuinely like play golf, and I'm really bad at it, but it's fun. I don't mind it at all. It's like I have also other things I want to do.
You were a softball wife. I'm gonna make you a hat that says softball wife.
Ex softball girlfriend. Like I didn't even get to that status. So.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Sorry.
No, it's
that
okay.
That was too good not to say. Anyway.
Cuts deep. Anyways, but. Yeah, so I just felt like maybe in that time, kind of how to sum it up is just like different people, different backgrounds, bad at communicating what you need, and probably like never going to be what the other person needs. 100%.
Yeah, you wanted different things out of relationships 1,000%.
Yeah, like what I was cool with, and like that's my thing is too is like I'm always the type of person. It's like, okay, this is what it is now, and I appreciate that, but like I want things to progress and change, and I want them to progress and change for the better. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get stuck in a rut with something that doesn't like see the same.
You know, it'd be so intriguing. Sorry, I'm going on a really weird tangent, but
just send him a questionnaire and see what he would say.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Hey, if you're listening.
The show, The Ultimatum, I wonder, like, if you guys ever went on that, if he would, like, shit and get off the pot, or he would just be like, nope, I'm still not going to marry her.
LOL, no.
It'd be so interesting to see.
Also, just absolutely not. Anyway,
but
no. Yeah, and I feel like what was the main thing I was going to say there?
Sorry.
Oh, I felt like by the time things ended, I felt like I was giving a lot more to the relationship.
Yes.
And I think without me, because I kept, by that time when things were like not going well, I kind of shut off like saying a lot of things to other people. I didn't say as much as what was going on.
We also didn't bring it up.
No, but I won't say we because some people did. I'm saying at that point I was kind of starting like people were like, listen, we have nothing against this person. It's not we don't like them. We know you like we really actually genuinely do like him. We love that you guys love each other and all that. But like, is this gonna like turn into better or is this gonna like not? Because I can kind of see that like things aren't really going that well. So I had like, my parents kind of bring up stuff to me.
Yeah.
No, my dad literally thought he was the reason we broke up because he like had this conversation with me like a little bit before it happened. And I kind of was just like, he's like, so kind of what's going on? I kind of like broke down and like said, yeah, this is how I'm feeling. And I just feel, whatever. And he was just like, like I'm not trying to say do anything, but you have options. Like this doesn't have to be how it is. Like you're in control of kind of your situation. And it was kind of the situation where it's like I knew if I brought things up and it got to that point that it would be like kind of no going back. Like even if he was like, okay, let's break up, and he technically broke up with me or whatever it was, I knew I was the one that was like pushing it to that point. If I never said anything, we would have just coasted on forever, probably till we died. But anyway, it's just kind of one of those situations where I was just like, I know if I like stand firm and stand my ground or like bring up this fight or whatever it is, it's going to kind of be the end of it because
you've been just kind of like sitting over
and it's just like it's been these little things we're not really getting along. I feel like it was honestly only like a month or something of just like it was kind of heading that direction.
Interesting.
I mean, it hadn't been going as well for maybe like a year or something like that. Like we'd both kind of been feeling
well, let's get back. Let's jump
things.
back a little bit. So you said like 4 years good, and then you had your first breakup.
Okay, so yeah, that's where we're at. That's where I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about right now.
Like
no, I'm talking about at the right when that was when I'm
got it,
because that was right. Guys, don't ever have that conversation right at your 21st birthday though. My 21st birthday was like
on your birthday.
It was the day after.
I remember you always did. I didn't spend your 21st with you because I was at school.
No, because you were in school, yeah.
But yeah, I remember you always saying like after that, I think it was like a couple birthdays after, be like, this is the best birthday ever I've ever had. Because it's like, well, fuck, like if you had to break up with somebody on your 21st birthday, like it's not. So you broke up with him.
I wouldn't say I broke up with him. I knew going into the conversation that we would be broken up, but I obviously hoped in the conversation that he would like see my side and say, well, no, I want to. And he was like, no, I'm mad too. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're broken up. Cool. Okay. So that's kind of how it went. But
this is so interesting. It's like this was something that Courtney and I kind of just stopped talking about. Like,
I have something to say about that. Okay. So the reason, because I've said this in the past too, where I'm like, I feel like there's so much time where like my best friends that I literally say everything to kind of like, they knew like a little bit of what was going on, but they weren't like, oh, I've never heard that detail, or I didn't really know that. So like way later, I'm like, you didn't know that? But like when someone doesn't, like you lived 4 hours away, we weren't seeing each other every weekend. We not the type that text or call every day at all. Like
it's like we get together and then it's like bam, but we never.
But we aren't like like hey.
Plus, I'm not gonna text her and be like, oh my god, how's your toxic boyfriend going?
Yeah, or me being like, hey, here's how my relationship's going today. Like I'm just doing it and dealing with it, whatever. Yeah. So I feel like it was kind of like when we hung out, I was like, yeah, here's kind of what's been happening or whatever. But like in between times, people didn't really know what was going on. And it's, you stop. Like, I'm not going to make a point to text people that don't live in
That's really weird.
That's really weird. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's actually that weird.
And
I think it's just like, if you're the type
over the phone too is sometimes weird. Like we literally would get together, I remember, and like I would come over for like, I'd be home or something, spend the night at her house. And it's like, we would have like a 2-hour late night dish and we would just get all into the relationship and kind of talk about grievances and what's going wrong and what's going good and like everything. Like I remember that,
right?
But it's not like obviously we would miss things and
right, yeah, you don't know like okay, I mean, I feel like it's a lot of little things too that really like break a relationship eventually. And so I feel like those things don't, like when you're given the summaries after like, yeah, in the past 6 months is kind of what's been going down, like it loses its luster of like how big of a deal it was at the moment. You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, we break up. Okay. I'm literally unwell. Like bad. It's like laughable now, but it's really not. Like I was not okay. It's sad. Like it's so sad. Like I've never experienced, I don't feel like that bad of a, I mean, I'm sure it was depression. Like I mean, not like,
would you say the
depression.
first breakup
I was depressed.
Worse than any other breakup you guys had?
Yeah. Well, no.
The other time, but like,
yeah, that was, I mean, that's probably for the extent, well, no, actually probably, because I think it was the first time where I was just like.
It was the first time you were like,
I don't think I ever thought, I don't think I ever thought it wasn't gonna eventually work out. And then that was the first time I think in like years I'd ever questioned
Why
it.
would you? You were dating for 4 years.
Yeah. And
Like,
I
I
was
knew I
just
wanted
like,
to marry Ryan after like a month. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
So you've
probably
already
did
had,
too.
literally
Yeah.
we were at the point where we were like calling places to like move in together too. So it's like, that's where you're at. And then you
Yeah.
end up breaking up instead because you decide, no, like I don't like the way things are going, and
Right.
I don't like that he doesn't like the way things are going, and that's how he's that's
And
how
I'm
he's
sure
reacting.
there were things that you probably did in the relationship too that wasn't the best, but like we
Here's
can
what
all
I-
agree that it's like
Yeah.
it was him not trying enough.
Yeah,
the
no,
first
I feel
time.
like
Yeah.
here's what I will take responsibility for. When things were like bad, it brought out an ugly side in me. Like I would get like, that's the fixer, and someone's like shutting you off or shutting down to you. I'd be like, are you, like I would get really mad. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
like yell or scream or anything like that, but I would just be like so upset. I would just be getting so upset, and I just am not
Yeah.
the type of person. So I'm sure there's all sorts of ugly moments that we are not going to go into, but I'm just saying,
Because this
like,
is our side of the story.
yeah,
now.
this is my side.
But
And-
trust me, I know Courtney with my whole heart, and I know him pretty well too. And it's just like, I'm sure there were things you did too, but it was not your fault that relationship.
yeah, most of the things this sounds so bad because obviously it's like, I'm not trying to blame somebody, but like from your perspective, it's the other person's fault unless you've done something. And so I feel like it was his fault. Like,
I literally think he could look at the relationship himself though and be like, "Yep, it was my fault." Like, how could you? I mean,
yeah, I feel
just
like
the
there's been
facts,
times
bro.
where we've said that and we've kind of come to that agreement in some areas, and then it's just like back to my fault. So, or shared or whatever.
I think you guys aren't meant for each other, but
That
it's also
is
his
literally
fault.
that is the bottom line. That is the bottom line.
But it's also his fault.
Yeah, because you can. I mean,
But
yeah.
you guys shouldn't be together, and you guys are meant for each other. But it's also his fault,
Right.
You guys could have figured it out. Like,
Yeah.
you probably could have worked some stuff out.
Yeah. Anyway.
But it would be fun to. Anyway, I'm going really off. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Anyway, so then we start this toxic cycle of basically like never like actually dating, being boyfriend and girlfriend, but like,
Dating and being,
but
boyfriend
just
and
constantly
girlfriend.
dating. Yeah, just constantly
Did you
dating,
guys-
but like not in a healthy way. Like in a way where it's like we're never committed. Like it's always like, well, I'm mad at something you did. I'm mad at something you did. And it's like we start piling on all this baggage. Where before it was just like you weren't being what I needed and I wasn't being what you needed. Now we broke up. I'm really upset because I am thinking, okay, like this is like for real. We broke up. So this should be like, if you care, then you, because my perspective was always just like, I wanted to work things out. I wanted to hear what he had to say. I wanted to like,
But it got to a
like
point where
find
he
some sort of
wouldn't.
like, yeah, middle
Yeah.
ground. And I didn't feel like it was possible because it was like, there was literally physically nothing I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I'm already doing like, I'm not going to, I guess, say that because I was obviously not perfect, but I'm just saying there was nothing, I don't feel like any area I didn't fill, I guess, maybe other than that, just like he was like, oh, well, now that we're 4 years in, I want space. And I'm like,
Yeah, he literally said that.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, the reason you want space is because you're not filling my needs. And so I'm constantly having to say, hey, can you make actual like purposeful time for me and not just like you living your life and I'm just a sidecar in it?
I get so confused. Is it like he just didn't want to give up his youth and give up his like?
I just think he's cool
because
to
he's
do his
not the,
thing.
He's not the type of guy, guys. He's not the type of guy that's like. I don't think he was afraid to like miss out on pussy or whatever. He's the type of guy, but like, so it's like so confusing why he would.
No,
be
he
like,
doesn't
"I
care to
need
have a girlfriend, I don't
space."
think.
No, not at all. And it's just like,
And it's not even that it's like he doesn't like, I'm not saying it's like he's not interested or something like that. I'm just saying like he is just as content if he's in a relationship as when he's not, and probably more content when he's not.
So I guess that makes sense, but
Like
still,
he's
it's
just
like,
as fulfilled both ways.
by saying like I need space, you would think he would be like, oh no, I don't want to give up on my youth. I want to be able to date more. I want to be able, but no, it's just like he literally
he
just
just
wanted
wanted
to be
time
by
with his-
himself.
Well, he wanted
and be
just
with
to
his
like
friends.
hang out with his friends, yeah.
Which you can do in a relationship. You
That's-
can have friend time, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm also like, I mean,
It's just so confusing.
yeah, I don't know. Like it's not like he never saw his friends or something. I'm sure he thinks that that's the case, but
Well,
that's
no,
not
you
true.
were at the freaking softball field.
I was gonna say we
3 times a week. You at least got to see
all we
him
do
then.
is what you want to do. What are you talking about?
Anyways.
Whatever.
Plus, like, he lived with his brother and stuff too. Like, they all, right? Like, they all lived together.
Literally hung out all the time.
They hung out every time. If
Yeah.
anything, they were hanging out, and Courtney was
I
just
was
like,
just
I'll be in the
there.
corner.
I'll be
No,
in the
I was
corner.
literally just like a part of it, which I guess he was like, stop wanting me to be a part of it. Because I was like, hey,
It's
I
so
want to do other
confusing.
stuff.
I remember going to places with you, and like literally, he wouldn't even like maybe be like, "Hey," then he would go do his own thing, and like we were in the corner. Like it didn't happen all the time, but like
no, stuff like that. Yeah.
I remember that like he wasn't even hanging out with you at the thing. If anything, he just got to see his hot eye candy and then fuck you later. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he even has to spend any time with you. I mean, he needs to, but I'm saying he is already sitting.
It wasn't quality time at all. Yeah, he was doing his thing, and I was just
Right?
there. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like I thought was being a supportive girlfriend. I don't know if it was like annoying eventually or whatever, but I just thought I was like, yeah,
you were like not
it's his
being,
thing. I'm like,
I'm sure
here.
you're being clingy sometimes, but like,
Yeah,
all the times
no,
that I was
I'm
around,
sure
you
I
were not, and
was.
it could be because I was there, so you had a friend, so whatever. But like, no, I think
Yeah,
I'm sure that happened all the fucking time. I'm cussing a lot.
Yeah, she's
Explicit.
getting heated.
This makes me so irate. So,
Irate.
Uncle Iro.
Uncle Iro. Anyway, this is the funnest conversation ever.
Honestly,
I'm not
this is
gonna
my
lie.
favorite episode. I'm gonna blast it on Instagram. Personal one.
Tagged. You're getting tagged. No, I'm
No,
just
I
kidding.
wouldn't do
I'm
that. I'm not
kidding.
that
No, okay,
toxic.
so let's get back. So I feel like we're done talking. I feel like everyone has a good enough idea of how the like actual like chunk of real relationship went.
Yes,
That's
let's talk
what
about the
that's what I count as
non-relationship.
like when we were
Let me ask you a question. So you broke up. Did you ever officially get back together?
once, yes.
One time. And how
That
long
was
did that
most
last?
recently.
Oh, sweet.
So all the years, and I say years
Years.
with a Z. It's like 5 Z's. Years.
You weren't even like long distance. Like you were literally
No, we literally were just like
2-minute drive.
yeah, and I cannot speak on his behalf as to why that went the way it did. I don't know. Because
How long do you remember how long you were like in the just dating stage before you
okay,
got
well,
back to boyfriend, girlfriend?
if it was 7 years altogether,
4 years together.
4 years
then-
together, let's say like a year-ish most recently. So like
2 years of not dating,
2 years of kind of on and off, whatever.
and then a year of BFG.
Yeah, a little less than a year, I would say.
Still wild though.
I know, it's crazy. Like, yeah, because it was a year. It was a long time. It was like 2.5 years, I would say, probably.
2 years enough time to be it by himself and soil his oats with no soiling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just, it's
So
odd.
confused.
Anyway,
Confused.
yeah, so that's when I feel like the things just were not good. This is the part where I feel like I learned a lot of hard lessons.
Yeah.
This is what I,
At this
is what
point, I
I've
think
learned.
you're getting stronger
than yesterday. And here I literally had to tell myself all the time because I was just like, in my head, I was just like, we love each other. Like, why is it not working? Like,
often-
I genuinely don't think he didn't love me or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, well, that's not what love is. I'm like, no, that's what love is for someone that's only capable of that type of love. Like, I don't think he's gonna. And whatever. Anyway,
What? I have a question again. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I keep interrupting. For those 2 years, so now 4 years of dating, breakup. You're back together eventually. 2 years of literally hanging out every day, right? But like, how often would you hang out in those 2 years? before
No,
you got
I wouldn't
back
say it was
together?
every day. It would be like we wouldn't talk for a couple weeks,
Okay.
and then we'd like,
Text.
we'd be like, I would literally like go like where I would not text him for like weeks,
Okay.
just to be like, are you gonna text me? Like, awful. Like,
Yeah.
just games, and it was bad. Also, let me just say, I literally, okay, so we broke. I feel like I have to go back because this is where like he starts feeling like he has like a little bit of weight to like have against me. I'm gonna say, and I don't care. So
you
we
shouldn't
broke,
care.
I literally don't, and whatever. Anyway, so we broke up, and we were literally like still talking, and like I wanted to work it out. Like going into the breakup conversation, I knew we were gonna break up, and I was just like, I accepted that, but it's obviously not the outcome that I wanted to happen. And I don't know if that's what he did want or didn't want. It just depended on what the other person said. Whatever. I knew it was gonna get to that point because nothing was changing up to that point. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, well, if a breakup is what it takes for like me to be like, I'm serious about this, then okay. But it was like 4 months of like me like crying and being like, I do not understand. Like, are you not okay? Because I'm not. Like, I'm not happy
Yeah.
that we broke up. Like, when I said all those things about like the future, I meant them. And
Right.
like the only reason that I feel like we're in this situation now is because I'm trying and I feel like you're not, like, you know, whatever. And I feel like even in that situation, you'd be like, yeah, I feel like I'm not either because I don't want to right now. Like, and that was just kind of where it was. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, if you care, you don't want me to be with somebody else. I don't want you to be with somebody else. I want you to be
Right.
with me. Like, you know, that's kind of where it was. But I'm also like someone who's like, I really value relationships. Like, if I'm already put in that much time and I see a future, like, I'm not going to throw it away if I can avoid it. You know, that's kind of where I was. And I didn't feel like he was like the same way. And that was what really upset me. So that happened for like 4 months. I was like, I mean, I'm sure I did all sorts of pathetic things during that time, like why, you know, whatever. And so finally I was just like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I guess we just need to stop talking because like, this is like, I'm literally miserable. Like, it's just either let me know if you want to get back together and try it, or like, let's not talk because this is not okay. We're like obviously still like seeing each other some, and it wasn't good, whatever. Anyway, yeah, and so then I'm like not okay, really upset, whatever. And then mind you, like this is the first time in like years I've been single. So like people around town start showing me attention, and I'm like like literally yeah, so sad and miserable. And so I end up like seeing somebody for a little bit that whatever. And he didn't like that. That was, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but like, so I get with somebody else and it didn't turn out well. As far as like in me and my ex relationship, it like, that was like, couldn't believe it type of situation.
It was like, I think
it was the topic of conversation for like 2.5 years, my guy. Like,
get over
you
it.
know how many times poop or get off the pot was said during that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that literally was like a couple
who
weeks. It was like
effing
a couple
cares?
weeks of like me hanging out with this person. It didn't go anywhere.
It doesn't matter. You were broken up.
Oh, we were broken up.
Oh, you were broken up.
For 4 months. Okay.
You were broken up, so who the F cares?
Right, okay. So that, yeah, whatever.
If he should be mad, it's his own fault because he's the one that...
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Anyway.
It's fine. That's in the past.
Whatever.
No, anyway. So, but that is really what happened. And so then that's kind of like what always like caused
The fight.
the stringing along situation. Yeah. So yeah, that happened, and that's
Honestly,
pretty much that was the reason why it was never a commitment on his side for like, well, that's the one reason he used for 2.5 years.
We need to send the other guy a fruit basket or something. Be like, thank you so much. Like,
For
10 out of 10.
No, that's
I don't
so
know.
bad.
It's like, it's so crazy. I mean, it's just like, that's why we say we are thankful of every relationship, good, bad, ugly, because it got us to where we are now, because it's like,
Right.
who knows? I mean, and it could have, I mean, maybe it could have been more positive with you and your, you know, the big ex.
I don't want to even say what if about anything.
But
everything happened the way it happened, like, and people's feelings were hurt. My feelings were obviously hurt. Like, that's the moral of this story right now, is my feelings were hurt the entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just started off like this whole whatever, and I feel like we were getting older and growing up, and I was like,
How old were you at this point?
like I just turned 21.
Oh, yeah.
So I was barely 21.
When you broke up after 4 years.
Yes. And then see somebody else for a minute.
22,
and then
23. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Like you're
Yeah.
literally like graduating college, like, you know, like for real.
Anyway, so all these major like things are happening, and I feel like there was a main situation from my end. So like his main reason, like he didn't want to get back together for all this time but still wanted to hang out and whatever, was because I got with this other person after we broke up, and he didn't like it, and he didn't like it because of who the person was as well. Anyway, and then yeah, so then we were dating on and off, whatever, and then there was this specific situation that was like a pretty serious thing. I'm not gonna like go into it just because it's like, for me personally, first of all, I think it would make him look really bad, and I don't want to like dive into that. And also it's just like, yeah, it's something that I want to keep personal for myself as well. But that situation was not handled how I wanted it to be handled on his end at all, and that kind of like really.
What timeline are we at now?
That was like 3 years ago.
Wow.
3 years ago, like this month.
Yeah. And you were 24?
Yeah, I was like 24 probably. Anyway, yeah, because it was right around the time Haley and Reed got married. So 3 years, I think it was just their 3-year anniversary. Anyway, so like this month, 3 years ago. But yeah, I know. Anyway, but yeah, so that was kind of like, I was already like, felt like, okay, I'm not being treated well. I'm whatever. Like, it obviously got so much worse, like, in that time, because it's like, no one deserves to like want something more from somebody and not be getting it, and then still being like, well, it's because you did the, you know, whatever. It's like, okay, well, either don't hang out with me and don't talk to me and don't give me anything, or be all in, like,
right.
And I allowed that. So it's like, it's not just him, but also it's like, I'm so opposite of that, and maybe it's because of that type of situation, but and I don't feel like it is because of that though, because I was like that before. I didn't just like I had one boyfriend, like my boyfriend was my boyfriend for that specific time, and once I was done liking you, I was over it. Like, I didn't try to keep things going for like whatever selfish reasons. Like, I either wanted to date them or I didn't, and I didn't give them any attention otherwise other than to be friendly, like nice, at all. And maybe I'm not the best judge, because that's talking about when I was a teenager, and this is like in, you know, after a serious relationship.
No,
but I just think it's a different personality. Like, I don't think that's okay, and whatever. So that's kind of like what happened. So I'm like thinking of that. Then this situation happens, and it was not handled well at all, in my opinion. I think he can agree at this point, probably. But at the time, it was just kind of one of those things where it was like, it was a deal breaker. It was like the deal breaker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and like, of everything, it's like the one thing where I'm just like, yeah, no, like,
I'm in agreement with that too.
yeah, I don't
It's
think I could literally tell the story to anybody exactly how it happened. And guys, when I say this, I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I'm like, yeah, he did this, but I allowed it, and I was like still in there being freaking playing my part. It's not like I'm not accountable for anything at all. That's not what I'm trying to say. This is a relationship. Like, regardless of whether you're boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife, if you are having relations with somebody, it's a relationship in some fashion.
Yeah.
So like, it's on me as well. But yeah, no, this is like, I don't think I could explain the situation from his point of view and mine to anybody without them being like, what the actual F? Like, no, 100% on my side.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so that happened, and then was really not okay as well then, and then yeah, then that's when we're not together. I'm like, yeah, we're done, whatever. And then okay, so that's when it gets a little spicy. I don't know how much I can say.
Why did you decide to go back after like the Voldemort? We'll just call it the Voldemort happened.
Yeah. Okay, so I ended up dating I dated somebody else after that, and it was like, I knew it was going to be like, I thought he would never talk to me again, and I was like, okay with that. I told him that too, and he was like, why would you ever? And I'm like, we were done. So like, we were done. Like, literally done. I literally was like, could never talk to you again. I'd be fine.
I forgot you dated somebody in between. Like,
I know, but that didn't like count.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, this person also so by the way, let's just recap a little bit. Everything that's like a major thing that like I feel like I've done that like hurt our relationship, whether we were together or not, was while we weren't together.
Interesting.
And put that on a t-shirt.
That's on toxic.
Yeah, and I put that in a relationship. I've literally said that in arguments.
Interesting.
It's like you're holding on to things from, I'm holding on to things that it's like from when we were together, or like, whatever. That's when I'm having issues. The issues he's having is whenever we're broken up, because we're
dating other people, we're living your life.
You're agreeing that we're not together, and then I do something, I will say, wasn't always the best decision, but it's coming from a place of hurt.
Who cares?
I know, I'm just saying, like, even reflecting on me, regardless of how it affects him, like, it wasn't always my best choice, but it's just like, I was hurt. Like, you rebound, you do things like that whenever you break up with somebody, and it's like, it affects you. Like, if anything else, it should be like, oh yeah, I really got you good. Like that's what you're
I
doing.
want to be a fly on the wall with any of his other relationships whenever, if they do like go through breaks and stuff, kind of like how you guys did. And if that girl like goes into like, I would just love to, you know what I mean? Like it's just,
Yeah, it's very odd.
you're broken up.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't even think here's my thing. I don't even think he didn't have the right to be upset about things. I'm just saying, like, if you are going to hold on to something that someone did whenever you weren't, then don't get back together with them. Don't talk to them.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, then
Like, you could
never
be
talk to me
upset,
again.
obviously be like, oh, that's not the best, but you can't
It's like,
hold on
if
to
you
that.
cannot move forward, do not talk to me. That's really simple. Do not talk to me. Don't try to have a relation
Most
still.
people would agree. I don't think almost everybody would agree.
That's the only thing that makes sense. You can't be like, yeah, okay, well, I'll keep talking to you, but I'm never going to get over this thing and it's like going to keep me from ever. Like, I'm like, don't. Like, then just don't. Let's not do this. Like, but I wasn't smart enough at some times in my life to like say that. I wasn't like, okay, well then just let's not. Like,
yeah.
I'd be like, why? I don't understand. Like, that was what I would say. I'd be like, I don't get it. Like, whatever. Anyway, so I dated somebody else, didn't like it. It was like, I thought like the end of us ever talking again, and I was cool with that just because of how everything had went. This is like probably 5 years or 6 years in or something like that. Or no, probably 5. Didn't talk for a year. Literally didn't talk to him one time for a year.
Interesting.
Other than to be like, do you have my things, or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
By the way, we've never been like hateful to each other or anything like that. Like, this is probably as saucy as it's getting right now. Like, it's never been, even when we're broken up. Like, I feel like one time ever when we weren't dating, he's like been like hurtful, and it's because like he was hurt by what I was doing, and I was just like, okay, well, you're texting me when we're broken up and trying to like fight when there's literally nothing to fight about because we're not together. I still have no, this is actually really toxic because I'll go through sometimes and like delete pictures off my phone because literally I have no storage or whatever it is, and it's like literally I have pictures from like 2015 or something on my phone, and I screenshot those texts like when that happened. I need to show you because it was like
I would die. We're gonna eat chili after this.
Yeah, and then look at these texts, and I just I think I've just never deleted them because I would just like, I'm the type of person that like once something's in the past, like I just don't get heated about it. Like my feelings are just completely separated.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about these things and I'm like, I remember being hurt, but I don't feel hurt by them now at all. I don't hold on to stuff. And like, I'm like, you know, I kind of just don't need to delete those for a while. I mean, I'm cool now, but like back then I was like, I'm not going to delete these because like sometimes I accidentally run across them or whatever. And I'm like,
now we're going to post them on our Instagram. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So
kidding. I would die. You know, I would do it, but you know, I'm a little bit more messy.
It's not affecting Audrey's life at all.
That's true.
Anyway, and it would, yeah, I don't want to like, I'm not trying to hurt anybody or anything like that. Anyway, but
once again, I'm a little bit more messy.
Yeah, I try to not be messy because I'm just I'm in a messier stage of life, so I can't be messy on purpose.
Can I say something too?
Sure.
Whenever you were having your broken up time again, it's not like you were literally like popping your pussy out to, like, you know what I mean? You were literally having normal 20-year-old experiences. I would say abnormal actually, because if you go to my college, like the normal 20-year-old experiences is just like literally like I have so many. I never did it that much. Wish I would have, honestly. It would have been fun. But it's like I never like went on dates or anything, but I know so many girls that it's like, oh yeah, my body count's like 60. You know what I mean? Like that was not your experience. You were doing a normal.
I literally was just actually like dating
abnormal.
people.
You were just dating a couple people.
Yeah, like literally. All my actual dating experience has been since I moved here. Like as far as like dates go.
It's just like, because I just don't want anybody to get it twisted. Like it's not
like literally what we're saying too was like not that bad. What we're saying, like from my perspective, like things that he's upset about are not that bad. It's just like, okay, you were in a long relationship with somebody and you love them and they do something you don't like.
And then they moved on.
They moved on. That's what it was. I moved on.
Literally. It just makes me.
And not in like a serious.
Not as serious. Yeah.
That's my thing. Is like I get more hurt if it's like you move on and it like works out.
Yeah.
If you really like somebody and you're like, oh, you see, not like you see them like being stupid and you're like, wow, like you are literally messed up, dude. Like
I would be like, if you were to move on and then get married after like a year or something of that. Yeah. I would be hurt too. Like, but that's not what happened. No. You went on a couple dates with a couple guys and that's it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's just
people that weren't people I should be
Who cares?
I know. I'm just saying that's the thing. Anyway, so
Anyways.
yeah, we end up getting back together.
So they end up getting back together after all of that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like the love was there, you know, but it's
yeah,
just like,
I mean, obviously.
it's wild, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't even remember. I literally don't even remember.
But you
how that
got
started.
back together and then
COVID, guys. That's all I have to say.
When you put that into perspective.
Yeah. Like, what else are we gonna do other than like,
That's
like,
wild.
hey, we haven't talked in a year.
This pandemic is so long, but yeah, when you do it, because I know it didn't end that long ago, but it feels like you've been here in Florida for like years. You know
Well,
what
I've been
mean?
here almost a year.
I know, but it seems like you've been here for like 4 years or something, you know?
Yeah, at this point, it's been
just
like a couple
crazy.
years ago since this happened, like since the end of it. So it's like, I'm not talking about any like thing fresh.
But still
It's just
so weird.
Yeah, it's really odd.
That like you were dating him during the pandemic. Like,
Yeah, because it seems like that wasn't that long ago, but it was. It was a super long time ago.
wow. Anyway,
Basically that conversation kind of happened was like, I think the first time we actually had like real distance and space from each other. So maybe that's why it wasn't like extremely awful
Messy.
and unhealthy. Yeah. Like it definitely wasn't good. Like on my part, was I still normal, fine, good person, didn't do anything? Absolutely.
But did you still want the things you still wanted when you broke up? Yep. You know
Right.
what I
And
mean?
then it was, yeah. So then, yeah, whatever. But now I think it was kind of like I had something in my back pocket, like not to use against him, but it's just like I had something I wasn't over. And I was just like, just so you know, I'm not over it. Like, care about you. I guess that we can like see how it goes. But like, you have these things and I have this one thing that I feel like is a way bigger deal. So, and from my perspective, and I'll say that, I'm like, yeah, you can think this and this. That's fine. You don't like it. That's cool. Like, you don't have to date me. You don't have to talk to me. We never have to talk again. You know, I'm kind of like how I don't know, I feel like our first conversation, because we kind of like, end up meeting up and talking. I was just like, I just literally don't think you could ever like come through for me. Like, I just feel like if I was with you, I'd be so disappointed all the time. I wasn't wrong. So
that's hard though. I mean, but it's hard because like there was love there, and he was generally like your best friend and stuff too. So
yeah, like
even
that,
though fundamentally,
I'm saying only negative things. Genuinely, he brings out, or did, like we were close enough where it's like he brought out a side of me that was like when I'm hanging out with Audrey and when I'm hanging out with my best friends.
So I mean, that's why you kept going back.
Right, yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And it's like, yeah, I was kind of like it's like being on crack. Like, as I get super funny and silly and whatever. Yeah, I have no... But my thing is, I think I just... I don't like people easily, and that's the thing. I don't like people easily, so I really cared about him, and then I didn't even... Nobody else was coming close. Like, I wasn't even interested in anybody else, so it's like, I kept thinking, well, does that mean something? It didn't. It just meant, like, he was the only... I'm only going to love a few people in my life, apparently, and that's okay. Like, I feel like that's normal, and, you know, I'm the type of person, it's like, when I care about somebody, I care about them deeply. I'm going to, like, put all in, and then, you know, so obviously... that makes things hard to break off until you're ready to break them off for good and like be done.
So yeah, so you got back together, dated for about a year, and then why did you decide to like end
Basically,
it?
we always kind of had the same conversation where it was like, we were dating, but it was like it still wasn't like great. It was like, there were like certain people that I wouldn't like come around that were his friends. Mm-hmm. And he would say things like, well, I just don't trust you around my friends and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, wait. I just unlocked a memory.
I mean, he doesn't have that friend anymore.
I know. I just forgot that even existed.
That's what I was talking about.
I know. It's just so funny how you just...
Yeah. Anyway.
That's so funny. How your mind forgets things. Like,
yeah.
It's been
so that
long.
was always... I was just like... Because he would like go be at a Halloween party. And I would be like, I literally saw you were at a Halloween party. Like, you didn't even say anything to me. And he was like, well... I'm like, okay.
When you guys were dating or broke up?
Yeah, when we were dating.
Oh, so you guys were at the same party and then...
No, I'm saying like I would see it on social media. I'd be like, I literally know that you went to a Halloween party. You didn't think to like ask me if I wanted to go or like just even tell me. And he was like, well, I mean, I guess he knew it, like I'd be upset about it. So he just figured he'd go do it and then like just see what I had to say after. Like that type of situation.
Cute.
Yeah. So it was like... little things like that where he was just like making it obvious. It's like, yeah, I don't trust you and I'm not gonna, which by the way, there's nothing to not trust. Let me just put that out there. There's nothing to not trust. Like, I've never like done anything that wasn't like loyal to him.
Yeah.
If that makes sense at all. Like, I literally have never. Like, I've done things that hurt his feelings when we weren't together. That's literally the end of it. I've never given him a reason to think anything otherwise. But yeah, so that was kind of the thing. I was just like, okay. But then again, that would be like once in a blue moon. And I'm thinking, okay, well.
Still, it's so weird. It's literally Halloween. Like, you're going to be spending time with your significant other, and then he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. But I will say this, like, we dated this past time. It really, like, it was mostly, like, good. It wasn't great because it just, like, there was just too many, like, skeletons in the closet type situation. Like, I think it was just both of us kind of figuring out, like, I'm like, okay, well, if this is what it's going to be like, this is what I want. Like, is this what's going to happen? Are we both wanting these things, like, with each other? Like, 'cause this is what I want in a relationship. So is this going to be the relationship or not? And it just kind of got to the point where it's like, it just wasn't, you know, like it was, and he would be like, well, I just feel like this. And I'd be like, cool, then that's fine. Have this conversation one more time. We're like, I'm telling you right now, when we break up, I'm never going to get back together. And that's, I mean, that was like, when we have these conversations, it was like, that's fine. Mm-hmm. If you want this conversation to end in a breakup, that's totally cool. I'm just telling you, you can't change your mind after that, because I'm literally never going to get back with you again. I don't care if I like wish that we could or whatever, because I'm not going to do this. Like, literally, I didn't talk to you for a year and I was fine. So I'm not going to start this whole cycle up again, because that is literally the number one thing that I've learned from all this, is just that, like, I am the reason why I was so miserable. I, like, allowed that to happen. I'm never going to allow that to happen again. Like, you can either be there or don't. Yeah. And it's not like a knock against him either. It's just like you setting a boundary, you know? Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of how a couple of our conversations went, which were few and far between. It would just be like, sometimes we'd be like, I don't know, because, you know, I feel like I'm still whatever about this, and I'm just don't know if I see that going this way. And we'd be like, okay, cool. Well, if that's how we want to end this conversation, then we're like done for good. And we just didn't. We're like, no, okay, well, whatever. We'll see how it goes. Type situation, until finally it was just like, it was just kind of like getting too much time of it not ever, like, it wasn't really progressing. And it was mostly on his end still. Like, but I also was not, like, I wasn't ever doing what I had done before. Like, I was not putting in, I don't feel like, effort. Yeah. I agree. You know, and I felt like I was maybe at the time, because it's like, I'm always the person that's giving more in that situation. That's my personality. Yeah. Or at least in our dynamic, it was my personality. Like, I was always just, like, obviously doing more than he was. I don't think anybody was blind to that. I think that's just the consensus probably with him as well. But yeah, I just kind of got to the point where he's just like, yeah, I just don't, like, it's not that I don't care for you, but I just don't, like, see it. And I'm like, yeah, really? I mean, like, I probably was like, are you sure? Like, because, you know, I'm like, it wasn't that I disagreed, but I just think I was like, okay, but I know in my head I'm like literally never doing this again. So it was kind of like I'm like mourning what could have been a little bit, like, at that time. But I just remember, like, it being like a week later, and it's like I cried, like, when we had that conversation. I, like, remember laying in bed and, like, crying, like, watching TV or something, like, the next night. And then I don't remember, I was, like, saying something or doing something and talking about it and, like, got upset. And, like, literally it's the only time I've ever gotten upset about it. And I'm telling you, like, that's a major difference from, like I was not, it was just like I was done. Yeah. And it just takes, like, being done to realize that.
You gave everything the college try, though.
Oh, I gave it more than the college try.
Yeah.
I for sure gave it more than the college try. He gave it the college try. I don't know what the heck you want to call what I gave it. But anyway. I
have a core memory of us.
Oh, no.
She came down to visit at one point. I don't know when this happened, but it was definitely when I lived in this house. So it was in the last 2 years, I guess. I guess you had just.
It was during COVID. It was during.
She just gotten back together. Yeah. With him or something. And I remember she came down to visit, which she would do from time to time. And I just remember, like, sitting at John's Pass, if you guys know the area. And there's this, like, little pier. It's, like, such a tourist trap. It's so cute. It's by the water. Yeah, and I just remember, cute. Like, being outside, like, the saltwater taffy thing or some ice cream thing or whatever. We're just sitting on a bench and we're just like, oh, the dogs are going. I just remember, like, us just, like, kind of crying and just, like, talking about the relationship. Like, and I was just like, stop it. Like, just stop being in the relationship. Like, I was finally kind of, like, speaking my piece, because I had gone, I think, like, 3, 4, whatever, like, since the first time they broke up, of just just me not saying what I was truly feeling.
Yeah, and she didn't even say it like that, how she's saying it now. She was like, well, first of all, Audrey doesn't cry to me.
I don't cry.
She
will
cries
cry,
about Ryan, and that's pretty, and the dogs maybe.
Yeah, and I'll cry at any movie, but like.
Yeah, but like in our,
I don't cry. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't, we don't have that type of relation. I mean, she cares for me and things like that. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I cry for you way more than you cry for me, but.
I remember, sorry, we're going really off track, but it was like Relay for Life, and your grandma gave a good speech, and everybody was crying, and I was over there like,
Yeah, no, I remember. I was like, literally, when people are like, I've used that literally so many times. Actually, I've been like, literally all bawling. Morgan's bawling, like all of our friends, my whole family, and Audrey's over there like not crying, and I'm just like, that speaks not like volumes as far as like
I was
that
touched
she doesn't
by
care,
it, but I'm just like,
but
I'm not gonna cry.
yeah,
like
she's
I'm,
just yeah,
yeah,
she's just it's
anyway.
it's got to hit her the right way. Anyway, but I remember her being like, that just makes me so scared for you, Courtney. I haven't said so many things. I've held my tongue for so long. Like, I'm not telling you what to do, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But like, I'm telling you, like, I've watched you be so hurt for so long.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've not said anything just because I want you to figure it out on your own. But was like crying, telling me all this. And just being like, you're such an amazing person. You deserve the best, whatever. You know, I know that you literally, like, get you whatever, like saying all these really wonderful and nice things. And I was just like, I appreciate it. I was just basically kind of how I left the conversation was like, I don't disagree, and just know that like it's either going to work out and things are going to be good, and I'm not going to accept that they're not good, or they're not going to work out and I'm going to be fine. Like, and that's kind of where it was
good to
at.
hear on my end too,
right? It's because it's like you'd seen me like kind of be like so confused and like in the middle of it for so long, and like not know and know I wasn't gonna be okay if I was with him or if I wasn't. Like, I wasn't okay either way. Like, and so yeah, that's just kind of where it was at, where it's like I had kind of said my piece and made my peace with how it was. And anyway, we ended up dating for a little bit while after that, and until we broke up. But yeah, but
wild.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I'm not saying this in like I hope that none of this comes across like poorly, because genuinely the whole like purpose, I feel like, is just because it's a huge like life experience. I literally look at it as an experience now. It's not like there's just nothing that's like connecting us anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Other than like we share memories and we've shared like time together. But I think maybe I'm so far removed from the situation that I can feel like angry about things that I didn't let myself get angry about, or like annoyed, or like I'm able to like call out things where it was like I wasn't able to at the time because I think I was just like weak and, you know, too caught up. It doesn't like keep me up at night, or like I'm not holding on to it as like a grudge. But it's like, I'll be like, yeah, I remember when that was like so stupid, because it just gets brought up, or, you know, we're talking about a memory about something. And yeah, I feel like I'm like a little bit meaner about it now, maybe. And that's kind of like, that's as much as it gets. But it's also, I don't feel like, first of all, we don't talk. I never see him. Like, you know, I hope he's happy, and I literally wish him the best. It's not anything like bad. But at the same time, I'm just like, I hope he never tries to talk to me again or anything like that. And then not in like it's just, I'm like, I think I just wanted to be on good terms like for so long. I just hope we're always like on good terms, and I just don't want to, I'm just like, I don't care now. Like, feel however you want to feel about it. Yeah. Like, I genuinely don't care. Like, I've made peace with my part in how it all went down, and I'm much better off for how things are now, and I think he is too. And, you know, it's just, that's how it is. And it's like, I can remember being in love with him and things like that. It's like, that was a long time ago, but it's just like, we're just not the same people. We're not the same people anymore. Like, I don't love him, and it's not to say that in a mean way, and not like I don't love you anymore. It's just like, it's not that anymore. It's just not that. It just ran its course completely, you know? Yeah. And I think just like what I kind of want to take away from this, and what I hope that, like, if anyone's listening and I don't know, is in a similar situation or has been or whatever, it's just, there's just some key things. You can be so opposite and so different from your partner. Okay. I'm not saying you need to find someone that you're so similar to, even though I think that's what's maybe a little bit more healthy for me, is to find someone that I share some similarities with, not like an opposite person. I don't think I'm the type of person that could just like be with somebody that's like not like me either.
Yeah.
But some people like really thrive like that, and I'm not saying that doesn't work. My thing is less about like commonalities, and it's just like everybody knows, or at least eventually figures out, like the key things that it will take to be in a successful relationship with themselves. So like, I know I'm gonna need somebody that isn't flaky in times of need. Okay, don't feel like that's what I was getting.
Right.
I don't feel like I need somebody that's like giving at least I feel like is giving as much or in a similar way or something, like as far as like, I feel like here's what I'm giving to the relationship, like what are you giving? I feel like that needs to be more on the same level, or something needs to be a little bit more in tune in that area.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like you need to be, and I didn't realize this until later, but it's just like you need to be okay with like when someone's not showing up and being like, okay, well that's fine. Like, is it really going to hurt more to like leave a situation you're unhappy in when someone's honestly probably even telling you and showing you, if not just showing you, like we had conversations and he's like, yeah, no, like that's just not what I'm willing to do. And I still didn't like draw a line. Like, just if you're in that situation, just be like, okay, like remove yourself from the situation for a little bit, because regardless of whatever happens, whether it goes horribly bad, eventually you're going to be over it. Like, eventually. It might take a long time. You might make a lot of mistakes along the way. You might do whatever. You might be so sad. You might whatever. Like, it's probably all going to happen. But, like, I promise you, there's not one thing. You could have the worst thing in your life happen to you, and eventually you're not going to feel the same way that you felt about it when it was all bad. And, you were living in the moment of it, in the mix of it. Like, it's just so hard to see past that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just saying, dog,
Crazy
you
times.
really just gotta like figure out what your things are and not like sway from those things.
Yeah. But I will say fundamental things of a relationship, great communication. Generally wanting to be with your partner. Not saying you have to be with them every day, but generally like your partner should want to hang out with you more than anybody else. I think they really should.
Yeah, and I don't think that wasn't the case at the time. By the way, because we're kind of like referring to things that were like maybe
Later.
missing or wrong, and I don't think that wasn't the case. I just think it was like, maybe it was.
I was I was like, how do you not see that it's not the case?
I don't think it's not that I don't know. I'm just saying it like got
Maybe
to
he just wanted to
it
hang out
got
with
to the
himself
point.
more.
Yeah, it got to the point where it's like that was just as important. And then it was like it happened for so long. I think it was like we did hang out, and I was like the number one person for such a long time that it's like he, instead of like doing something about it and just being like healthy about it, like he resented me, and I'm like, dude, you're the one freaking doing it too. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That's what it turned into.
But I
Whatever.
think that's important in a relationship. But like,
Yeah. You want to be able, you want to spend time, and you want to like it's not someone you're like getting tired of all the time.
And I think there's got to be like, there's a couple things that if like you literally, there's so many things you can bend in a relationship for, but if there's like things that you can't, then don't settle for that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You have to figure those things out on your own. But I'm just saying some of these things where it's just like, I need someone who is like, takes charge and like puts me in my place, and like some people like genuinely need that. Like they need, and it's like, that's not what I need. So I'm not saying like you need to have this and someone that's like, I'm just saying based on my experience, relationship experience, based on my life experiences, being like a part of a family and friend group and things like that, of people who it's like, I've had some freaking really shitty times, and people that are closest to me show up for me, and I've never had to guess whether they would rather drop what they're doing and be there than like make me feel like I'm a burden, because you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just things like that. And it's not even that someone's like not doing that, like trying to make you feel that way, but it's just like, if that's not their natural thing, if they're like automatic, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Like they're not reaction, I guess, is if their reaction to like you needing them isn't like to want to be there.
Right.
without even having to be asked, or just like understand that like sometimes you put your needs aside because someone's needs are like greater at that time. Maybe not all the time. That doesn't make sense, but just things like that. And I don't know. It's just, it teaches you a lot. Like it's heartbreak, it's heartache, but it's just like, if you can like eventually figure out yourself a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's my thing. It's just like as soon as I just like let go of how I wanted things to go, and I was just like, well, this is how I'm gonna be, and this is how it's gonna be for me. And if it works out, it works out, because great, it's gonna be how I want it to go, or else it doesn't, and great, because it's gonna be how I want it to go. It's not gonna be me always trying to freaking not step on anyone's toes, and not hurt anyone's feelings, and whatever, trying to make something work and try to make sure everyone's on good terms and no one's upset. It's just like, screw all that. Like, you reserve those things for someone who's doing the freaking same thing for you.
Right.
I'm not saying never do them. I'm not saying like, I think I want to do all those things that I was doing before. Like, as far as like how much effort I'm giving. It's not that I never want to give as much effort as I was giving. 100% I do. I would love to do that again. But it's just like, not with someone who's, I don't feel like isn't as deserving of it, because, sorry, I'm not crying or anything. I just like had an air bubble. I went deserving, like, okay, my voice like broke, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. I could keep going on, but I'm not going to.
And that's
was this saucy though? I feel like it wasn't too saucy.
I could get way saucier.
Any last sauciness? I covered kind of like the bones a little bit.
The thing is, it's like, he's not a horrible person. He's just done horrible things. Not even horrible things. He's done a few horrible things, and he hasn't put you first. It's like, I don't wish. I bet it's like, we don't have like crazy stuff to tell, but it's just like, it's the same story, different day. It's just like, he just didn't show up.
Yeah. There's a few keywords here that.
And I hope he shows up for.
Is that recording? Okay, it's red. That was scary.
Anyway.
I swear. Anyway, yeah, but it's just like, yeah. And it doesn't make someone a horrible person. The point of it is, it's like, if someone's not showing up for you, they might show up for somebody else. It's like, you're not in the right situation.
I hope he shows up for someone else.
Yeah, same. Absolutely same. Like, it's not that I'm like, I just want you to accept that that's how you are. I hope that you're like, oh, wait, like, I didn't feel like doing that because it's like it wasn't working out or whatever.
And we need to end this. It's getting too long. But do you think he didn't want to show up because he thought he would disappoint you all the time or something? That's like the only. I get confused.
Past trying to figure that out.
I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter, but it's just like, I don't.
Yeah, here's my thing. I spent so much time trying to understand someone who can't communicate very well and who's just not like me, doesn't think the same way I think, doesn't react the same way. Doesn't
like, your love languages are so different.
I don't even think it's that. I just think like the way we feel and the way we like our brains work are so not the same. Not that we don't have like similarities and didn't get along well. I'm just saying it's like, if you gave me a scenario and gave him the same scenario, like, we would not react the same ever, not one time.
Yeah. Which can be an issue
because
it's a communication issue with a relationship.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I want you to do this, and he, whatever. So anyway, yeah. My thing is just like, don't stay in something that's not working. The end.
Yeah.
Don't stay in something that's not working. And don't like let it crush you when it doesn't work because it wasn't the right thing. If it's gonna work, you need to go do whatever's best for you until then, and it'll either work out or it won't.
Literally. Go to therapy or go to whatever. Like, just like figure something out.
Something.
Especially
I went to therapy once.
Good job.
One time.
I've
it
actually
helps.
never been. I need it probably.
It helps so much.
But it's just like, especially if this is your third go around trying or something like that. Like, if you dated, broke up, got back together, and then broke up again, it's like, okay, well, if you want to get back together again, like, there's obviously something not working. So probably go to therapy. Right. Probably really have an honest and real conversation, and like,
oh my God. I remember during this time, I saved I literally told him, I was like, actually, I'm not going to go into that, but we're talking about therapy a little bit. That had been a topic of conversation, but I remember like right before we broke up, I like saw this TikTok, and it was like a girl driving, and it's like, when you tell them you know a new spot in town, you drop them off at the therapist or something like that. I sent it to my mom. I was like,
I love it.
That's so real.
That's really funny.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me, but
what, therapy or him?
I'm saying I would go to therapy, but the TikTok was aimed at him.
Oh, yeah. And then he like tags you and he's like, this is so you.
I'm like, is it? Yeah, for me to drive you there? Absolutely,
yeah,
it is.
Is that me? Is that my car?
Yeah, that's actually me driving. Get in.
Wow.
Anyway, but yeah, no, that's just I don't know. I don't want to hurt feelings. So honestly, I'm not trying to. I don't think I have that many things to say to hurt feelings. I just think I'm not going to like reveal it all or something, because there's things I'm sure like he could say that would make me look bad. I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'm just trying to say like relationships don't always work out. It's okay.
It's okay.
And it just because it turns into something that's not healthy doesn't mean like anyone's a bad person, but like don't string something along to the point where it's like it's just there's a point of no return. That's my thing. It's like things would have just been so much better. I don't wish they were different, but I just know would have saved each other a lot of stress and heartache if we could have just.
Well, when you find the one, it's just going to be even that much sweeter because you're just like, and God bless the broken road. Let me stray to you.
I'm dead.
It's accurate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's so funny. Okay.
But that's it for today.
We all have our heartbreaks off the way.
7:00. We're going to go eat some chili.
Yeah, this one was a long duck dong. I feel like
it would be.
I feel like I'm going to end it and then just be like, delete the whole thing.
No, I won't let her.
I'm going to get scared.
Don't.
Too bad. I mean, good thing nobody listens.
I was about to say, it's like, who are you afraid of? My mom knows the story, and so do your parents. That's basically, and Ryan, those people that listen. So
right,
you're good.
This is the only one that blows up, and I like.
I kept thinking about that.
Oh, I would throw up. Anyway,
He doesn't even have social media. Probably he's probably like
who knows?
taking up too much softball time. Fuck. Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Girls, high five.